Your time right now is 5:58. We thank you so much for joining us.
Here's a look at what's ahead on Wake Up Alabama this half hour for you. Breaking news this morning, Birmingham firefighters are on the scene of a major fire on the city's west side. Our Paris Solomon is there and will update us with the latest details. But first,
it was more or less expected. I think her previous rulings had indicated such, and we'll deal with them in a manner we can shortly.
We sit down exclusively with Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore to discuss his role during a week that made history here in Alabama.
it's not necessarily the bitter blast we've had, but it's certainly cold. We're tracking the polar plunge for you this morning.
That's right. Weather is the big story of the morning. But before we get to that, we are changing things up just a little bit this morning.
Let's head over to traffic tracker Jamie Langley. And Jamie, when it's cold, sometimes that means concerns on the roadways.
That is definitely the case. Don't think we have any problems today associated with the cold weather, but we do have an accident I do need to bring to your attention over in Cottondale area, I-59 at I-20 eastbound. If you're traveling east, through right before you get to Vance area, unfortunately the car is in the median there. Right now we're not seeing any major delays associated with it. You see a lot of green there, and so we're nice and clear, but emergency personnel arriving to the scene to clear the scene of that accident. Please take it slow through that area and give yourself plenty of time to get from point A to point B. We will break down all at the very latest any accidents or major delays that could occur today, cold weather or not, as well as your drive times in 10 minutes. Stephen.
All right, thank you, Jamie. This is a live look outside from our newsroom this morning. We keep an eye on the thermometers for you. Now, of course, it's not going to be exactly perfectly accurate that close to the window of our newsroom, some heat kind of radiating out, but you can see it is cold out there for sure.
And yeah, I don't know how warm it's going to get for you today. Let's check in with our storm track meteorologist, Ted McInerney.
You know, it's going to get a little cool again today, folks. We're talking temperatures only in the low to mid 40s for highs. So let's get you out your door with our storm track hour-by-hour forecast. We'll have some clouds that actually thin out by around noon. 39 degrees at noon. That's cold. Not quite the breeze we had yesterday. 20 in Coleman, 24 Birmingham, 24 in Gadsden. When you factor in that wind chill, it feels like 17 in Coleman, 15 here in Birmingham. So today's high 43, cold again, increasing clouds late in the afternoon. But tracking next in 10 minutes, turning much colder late in the weekend. Valentine's Day doesn't look too bad, but frigid temperatures arrive Sunday, and I am tracking winter weather that could arrive on Monday into Tuesday. That's all coming up in your Storm Track weather forecast in just 10 minutes, guys.
All right, at 6:01, we want to update you on some breaking news we've been following for you this morning as we turn our set red.
Yeah, we're following Birmingham firefighters who are right now working a house fire, and Paris Solomon has been on the scene. She joins us now with the very latest.
Firefighters have been out here for about an hour now. They basically have the fire out. It's still smoking a little bit, and we're waiting to hear what caused this fire. But just looking at this house, you can tell that it was destroyed in this fire. I want to show you what the flames looked like when we first got out here. This was a huge fire. The flames were shooting higher than the house, well into the air. And we know from the woman who lives here that there were 5 people inside this house when this fire started. She told us that she had just left for work. Her 5 kids were at home, and she got a phone call from them letting her know that their home had caught fire and that they had had to escape with their lives. I want to let you hear from her. We spoke with her right after she had arrived back on scene.
Everything. They don't even have shoes on their feet. They just got out, and I'm glad they're okay.
Now, you heard her. She was looking at this house and telling us that she had lost everything just by looking at that fire, looking at the destruction it left behind. We have been watching her speak with firefighters. They should have the Red Cross on the way out here, hopefully, to get her some help. She says that she and her children have lived here about 2 years, and several of her children are older. Her son's actually 26. He was the one that was able to get the other 4 kids out of the house safely. None of them are hurt, but they did have to run out without their shoes, without clothing. They're sitting in a car here watching as firefighters put out the last remaining smoldering, smoking pieces of their home. We're live in Birmingham. Paris Solomon, WIAT 42 News, coverage you can count on.
Paris, thank you. Alabama probate judges who showed reluctance to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples are now being ordered to comply.
The federal judge who initially overturned Alabama's gay marriage ban in January has now clarified her ruling on that matter. Judge GRANADE ruled on requests made by 3 same-sex couples in Mobile. After the probate judge there stopped clerks from issuing licenses, to all applicants, gay or straight. In her decision, GRANADE says, quote, plaintiffs' inability to exercise their fundamental right to marry has caused them irreparable harm that outweighs any injury to defendant. Same-sex marriages will begin this morning in Tuscaloosa as well. Probate Judge Hardy McCollum issued a statement saying, we will comply and begin issuing licenses. This is an order that I feel requires the issuance of licenses to same-sex couples. Tuscaloosa's probate office opens this morning at 8:30. Well, in the middle of this controversy is Alabama Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore.
His order telling probate judges to stop issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples is addressed in this latest ruling. WIAT 42 News reporter Michael Oder sat down exclusively with Chief Justice Moore to discuss his position and the blurred lines between the separation of church and state.
Just 4 days after Alabama probate judges started issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples, the state's highest judge says problems caused have been small.
I don't know of any problems that's been caused except in the probate courts.
All 68 probate judges in Alabama are interpreting Judge Callie Granade's federal ruling on their own. Some have refused to issue marriage licenses to gay couples on religious beliefs. When I asked Judge Moore about the separation of church and state, he believes it is mostly misunderstood.
But I'll tell you one thing it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean to separate God from government, especially in the United States of America. You cannot separate God and government.
Judge Moore believes the Declaration of Independence explains why.
You see that your rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness come from God.
Whether or not a probate judge issues a license to a same-sex couple is solely up to that judge.
And if those licenses are forbidden by state law, then they must make a decision, is that constitutional according to their understanding of the federal Constitution?
Michael Oder, WIAT 42 News. Coverage you can count on.
Your time right now, 6:06. A Tuscaloosa bank robber is still on the run.
Meanwhile, the man accused in a Pell City heist has been found. Then it's a scandal that continues to haunt legendary comedian Bill Cosby. 2 more women have come forward alleging they too were offered tainted drinks.
Plus, we'll take you to Boston, where a record month of snowfall will only get worse as another 6 inches is expected to fall today. And Storm Track meteorologist Ted McInerney has our forecast. Cold out there, the discussion of snow, he'll clear it all up for you.
And if you're traveling along I-59 and I-20 eastbound, be prepared. You could have some traffic delays. There was an accident there in Cottondale. Jamie will give you all the highlights after the break. You're watching Wake Up Alabama with coverage you can count on.